So the second step of justifying higher fees is to specialize. So let's go into some examples of what it might mean to specialize in real estate. So some of the ones that spring to my mind would be, we've had Angela Burton on that specializes in short sales. You could specialize in luxury. That's a common one. You could specialize, and I think more people need to do this. They need to specialize in certain parts of the city, certain price ranges or types of homes. You could specialize in new construction. That's another big one. You can even go to work specifically for a builder if you wanted to get out of the game, I suppose, of being an independent real estate agent.
You can do investments.
Investments. Okay.
There's all different little niches. Commercial. What type of commercial? If you wanted to do commercial, you could focus on being a bird dog and taking 25% referral fee. If you're exceptionally good at doing cold calls, making 25% referral and just kick back, relax. I mean, there's all these different niches that you could get into, or niche, whatever you want to call it. Like an itch, but it's better. I don't know how that came around, but whatever.
No.
I'm a lyrical genius. I just rhyme things. See how well I was writing rap songs. I was writing rap songs in my previous life.
Sadly, I wouldn't put it past you.
So, first figure out what you like to do. Like I have found that personally, our team, we do a lot of listings. Me personally, I don't like listings. I don't like what I have to do for them. I would much rather go take buyers out and show them homes and be out of the office, be in the sun, work with new folks, be out and about. That's just my personality. But, my father, definitely not. T. Diddy, no way, Jose. He's like, "Good, Greg, you want a buyer?" I'm like, "Yep." Eileen, were you and I talking about that, about, buyers or sellers as well? And she would much rather take a seller than a buyer. So figure that out first, because again, that's your personality types. But Eileen will take them all, she says. And you guys see, there she goes, track her. She is a real estate agent that will take everything right there. But what do you like to sell as well? I don't like to sell new construction. I don't have a passion for it. Like brand new streets with baby trees with nothing but asphalt. No, thank you. God, no.
That's the moneymaker here in Omaha. That's where the money is.
You know what that reminds me of? It's burned into my mind of having to door knock so many tens of thousands of houses, and I was sweating my nuts off. And there's no shade. There's no shade. It just reminds me of pain and sweat in places that shouldn't be sweating, and just
I don't want to know what those places are. All right, moving on.
A big thing people miss is something as simple as an effective way to capture leads at open houses. They have a stupid little guest registry that no one uses. People walk in and out and nothing's captured. That's one of the biggest wastes right there. If all you do is just create a effective way to consistently ask every single guest to enter into the feedback form, the open house feedback form. I know, again, there are regulations in terms of whether or not you can do draws and stuff like that from state to state and so on. So forgive me if I'm going outside of what's legal in some respective locations. Dudes, why don't you guys tell me, is it in your location, is it legal to have an enter to win bribe for an open house feedback form?
Yeah, we do. We have a bunch of agents that here in the area, they do, and this is for real estate agents. Hey, give us some feedback and you can have a chance to win a $100 Nordstrom's card. The ironic part about that, I've never heard of a single agent winning the Nordstrom's card from the agent.
That's not good.
It never happens, right? But at least they got the bribe out there. It's
like, he just missed it by that much.
Yeah, so close, but maybe next time.
Yeah, so like, a gift certificate towards a nice restaurant or Home Depot or Nordstrom or whatever. So a bribe would be a good start. The other thing is blame the home seller. Say our home seller asked to ask every guest to give us some feedback on your experience of the suite or the home. If you'd be so kind as to fill that in before you leave, that'd be much appreciated. If all you did is do that and train your buyer's agent or your listing agents or whoever's manning your open house to do that, you'll get way more leads. And then what you want to do, you want to have a place where you ask, are you pre-approved? So that's a great lead for the mortgage pro. And also, do you have a buyer's agent? great lead for obviously you as a buyer's agent. So that's the one way to get leads, is just doing that. I know it sounds rudimentary and head slappingly simple, but hardly anyone does this.
And they couldn't get credit cards. So what we got is like 18-year-old back then, 24 years old now. They're getting ready to get married. They're starting their life, and they're looking at their credit saying, I got nothing. I got thin credit file. And so it's helping them. Really, the power is in credit cards. It really comes down to it. I've really got to kind of reteach America, because Dave Ramsey, who I like, but Dave Ramsey says to everybody, cut up your credit cards. You don't need them. Wrong. Totally wrong. Like, even if you're Warren Buffett, you need insurance, right? So employers, car insurance, home insurance, every kind of utility, everybody's running your credit anymore. And there's a little lever called credit cards, that if you have a couple credit cards and you know how to use them, you don't spend more than 20% of what the limit is on that credit card, and you use it every month. You buy something small, pay it off. Put it on the gym membership, pay it off. You do that a few months in a row, you start drowning out the bad with good. And you don't have to have good credit to get a secured credit card. And they don't know the difference between an unsecured and a secured credit card on your credit report.
So now you have this ability, and you've built this system to bring potential sellers into the office and get them to sign the listing agreement in the office, right? So let's dive deep into that.
Yeah, so I mean, in-office listing appointments, I've been doing it for several years now, and I think at one point it just dawned on me. I think actually it was the point where I was getting peed on by a dog, and the background was screaming at their house because I was there. They were distracted, their phone was ringing, and they were in the middle of making dinner while I'm trying to talk to them about how these great things we're going to do in our marketing plan. I finally it was enough. I said, we're done. That's it. I said, either I'm going to figure this out on this in-office listing thing, or I'm going to get out of the business, because this is just ridiculous. And of course, we were going to figure it out, and that's what we did. So, and for us, it's figuring out. I mean, that was maybe the drive to figure it out, is like, this just doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, it's convenient for the agent, but I'll tell you, we really believe and feel that it is in the best interest of that seller, because they are forced to make a decision on who they're going to hire based on merit and not on what they think the home is worth. And I get so tired of seeing that game being played, so we do not allow it to happen. They have to come to our office. Clearly, we can't give them an exact listing price at the office, and so they have to either decide at that point if we're going to move forward, based on what we're going to do in our track record, not anything about what we think the value of their home is. We think that's in the best interest of the seller to force them to do that.
Interesting. I have never heard someone doing that before. What is their response? I mean, do they push back on you a little bit, or they just kind of go with it? Or? It
depends on that personality. We've definitely probably lost the business because we just couldn't get the seller to understand that was in their best interest. There are those people out there that just think you need to see their home, and they need to be assured that they agree with you on the price before they will agree that you're the right fit for them. And I get that, so we try to give people a range and narrow that in as close as possible to provide some value in that appointment. But at the end of the day, we feel that we are able to provide a better service, even though we may lose a little bit of business from those people that just aren't gonna buy into it.
Yeah, let's get on to the on-demand stuff. This is the stuff that I'm most passionate about. I love this is the part of, at least for me, this is how cell phones have changed my life. Is that I basically don't have to talk to people or interact with anyone. I can just
do anything.
I can Matt, you found a brother from another mother again. You don't get to talk to people. This is fantastic. 2 for 2, buddy.
It's funny. It's like from the same mind.
So the example everybody knows is Uber, so we won't talk about that, but the idea you can order an Uber to you. But I don't think people realize how much the world has become Uber-fied. So one of the things I love to do is Postmates, which is just you can have food show from any restaurant show up to your doorstep within 30 minutes. It's amazing. I mean, you can have steak, you can have sushi, you can have anything get sent to you. You track the little driver coming to you. It's just so cool. I've had events catered. They do retail. There's all sorts of stuff. TaskRabbit is another one where you can basically order a person to do anything. anything, from help you move a couch to fix your car, to just about anything. It's really cool. I've had people go and help me do party preparation. Hey, I need you to pick up balloons over there. I need you to do this, and it's always been affordable, friendly, very easy to use. So I love those types of things. Prime Now, is that just you're talking about kind of Amazon Prime?
Yeah, the Amazon Prime Now, which is, a lot of people are familiar with Amazon and of course Amazon Prime, which gives you 2-day shipping. There's Prime Now that you can literally have something delivered within the hour. Now you have to be close enough to a fulfillment center. My house is. I'll give you an example. I know that we were coming one Sunday night. I needed to stop at Office Depot to get like those white poster boards. We were having our quarterly meeting at 8 a.m. the next morning, so I wasn't going to be able. Home Depot wouldn't have been, or Office Depot wouldn't have been open in the morning. Well, I was too late. I didn't realize they closed at 5. So I went on Prime Now, and I was actually coming from Big Bear home. I was coming back from a vacation, and I just Prime Now'd it. By the time I got home, I had the poster board sitting on my doorstep ready for the meeting tomorrow, for the next day. It was incredible, and we start to think that way now. Like if I want something, there's not 2-day shipping. There's not.
You can pretty much have anything delivered to your house. Is kind of the takeaway from this. I'll do a good example. 2 weekends ago, me and my girlfriend were just kind of having one of those days we wanted to be lazy. We Postmated food, and then we used the app Soothe to order 2 masseuses. We had a couples massage in my living room while watching Game of Thrones and eating sushi. It was
awesome.
Brought to you by the iPhone.
So, okay, let's do this. Want to take another question?
Yeah, give me another question from your side, Greg. Inspirational question.
Inspirational. Okay, here's this. Here's a good question for you. This is a reality check for you guys. How many promises have you made, and how many of them have you fulfilled? I'm going to immediately think back for all of you guys back to your New Year's resolutions, which by January 5th, you broke them all. But no, think about it, like that kind of stuff. Because my motto, I'll let you go, but my motto is if I make a promise, to someone, I'm going to keep it, because that's keeping a promise to myself. And if I break a promise to myself, I have no reason to believe that I can hold it to anybody else. So that's why when I say I'm going to call you guys at 6 p.m. on the dot, then I will call you at 6 p.m. on the dot, because I made you that promise. What about you, Matt?
As far as the question or my thoughts on that one?
Well, wouldn't they be the same?
No.
How many promises have you made, and how many have you fulfilled?
Yeah, so just a quick marketing perspective on that. So part of the concept of building your own media platform, whether it's a podcast, a blog, a video show like we have here, whatever it is. So one of the ways that you build trust with an audience of people is by making promises and then keeping them. So that's a very, very, very essential part of your content strategy. So ask yourself, when you're putting out content, when you're doing something on Facebook, when you're doing something regular in terms of blogging or putting out content, are you making promises and then keeping them? And this is something I'm trying to work out. My schedule is going to change here in the next month or so when we launch this new thing. But eventually I'm going to find a time that works where I can commit to doing Facebook Live at X time every single day, or X time these 3 days a week, which are the podcast days. Because what I want is because I'm asking myself that same question. When it comes to marketing, am I making promises and then keeping them? And yes, you don't want to make promises and break them, but you do want to look for ways when you're putting out content to make promises and then keep them, because trust equals promises kept over time is a really good quote I heard from a guy one time. So promises kept over time equals trust. So Andy, let's start with you. So you've got, I think, a couple of ISAs on your team, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah, so I should also say that I'm part of the 5 Doors Network. We're an expansion company that has locations all over the U.S. So when I rolled into the 5 Doors Network, we actually rolled in my ISAs. So we've got 4 ISAs right now, and they're making calls all around the nation. So
okay, so your 2 ISAs joined the other 2, basically formed like a call center that makes calls for everybody that's in the network.
Yep, pretty much. The ISA that I hired, he's very talented. His name's Ben Pickthorne. He is going to be an icon in this business when he decides to hang up his boots, and he's actually leading that division and growing it. So yeah, we have a great ISA division.
I mean, a while back I talked about something that was more than a little personal on there, and people reached out to me in droves to talk to me about that thing. So I've decided that I told Matt that I'm going to open up and I'm going to be open and transparent about everything in my life, and we're just going to see where it goes from there. I'm pretty much living on the camera anyway, so might as well just make it real.
Well, it's about time that you've decided to come clean with your horrible skin disease. I mean, it's the head-to-toe eczema that you suffer from. I appreciate that, guy. It's so brave.
With the cream is
So brave.
God.
There's nothing like this show anywhere. There's nothing like this show anywhere.
No. I mean, a while back, I talked about something that was more than a little personal on the air. And, people reached out to me in droves to talk to me about that thing. So I've decided that I told Matt that I'm going to open up and I'm going to be open and transparent about everything in my life. And we're just going to see where it goes from there. I'm pretty much living on the camera anyway, so might as well might as well just make it real.
Well, it's about time that you've decided to come clean with your horrible skin disease. I mean, it's the head-to-toe eczema that you suffer from. I appreciate that, guy. It's so brave.
With the cream is
So brave.
God.
There's nothing like this show anywhere. There's nothing like this show anywhere.
No.
One of the drills that we have is called the doorway drill. And what that is essentially right now or wherever you are, as long as you're not driving, you can straighten up, put a smile on your face, chin up, shoulders back, chest up. And you don't want to exaggerate it because it looks dumb when you do that. You don't need to do that. It's just having
It looks like you
normal...
have little man syndrome.
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, I'm a superhero trying to be Captain America. But you can just put that on and just notice how that feels, what that looks like. And then every time you walk through a doorway, straighten up and do that exact same thing again. And what that does, and I mean doorways even in your own house. So what happens is you constantly end up standing up straight, chin up, smile on your face, and that becomes your default body language after a while because you walk through doorways hundreds of times a day, most likely, if you're on the go in an office. If you work from home, still dozens of times per day are you doing this. That way, when you go to Starbucks or when you walk into a meeting, you don't have to go, all right, it's game time, everybody get your good first impression body language on, which is totally unrealistic and results in you going, okay, got to remember to stand up straight, got to have open body language, remember, smile when people are talking with you, you never know who's looking right now. You can't live like that in the moment because you need to be listening and interacting with people in a way that's totally normal and confident. And what this does is it causes you to relegate that body language, that confident body language, to the level of habit so you don't have to think about it. It also creates a situation in which you don't have to actually... You get treated differently by other people as well, because if you look the part, people start to treat you differently. When people treat you differently, you start to act a little bit differently, and then that becomes a virtuous cycle. The body language you forget about after a while, and you start to build natural confidence because people are treating you like they would treat somebody who was confident.
The way that we're all thinking now, yes, you should be working on an exit strategy. There are a lot of proven, structures out there. Pick one that works for you. Build slow, build fast. It doesn't matter. We had a lady come on the McDaniel Challenge. She built a team in I think 12 or 16 months to the point where she showed up in the office maybe once a month, and they just mailbox money just showed up. Yeah, just a machine, just chew through stuff.
But here's the thing, a machine is a very, very good word for it. That really is what it takes. You have to build a machine. If you don't have a machine, you're not going to get those kind of results, Right. And most people aren't focused on building a machine. They're focused on doing it themselves, maybe with a little bit of help. They would like to get some help, or they want to partner with somebody that's also doing everything themselves and think that's going to help. It doesn't solve anything. You have to be willing, and this is where this goes into, is if you're going to max out your profit and you're in a business where people want you to be the nurse, then just accept the role. If you pride yourself on being a brain surgeon and every problem is brain surgery, you're going to piss a lot of people off because they just want the solution. They don't want your creative problem solving. They don't want all the stats. They don't want you to prove how technically gifted you are. They just want to know, hey, have you done this thing for other people successfully? Do those people look like me? Right? That people want testimonials where it's the exact same type of situation. They just want to know that you've